Can you help me understand this? Today, tax is an enabler, you're saying.
Absolutely, an enabler of progress.
How?
Let's take the case of Estonia, right? Estonia is small, it's a tiny nation in Europe. They said we would want to focus on crypto, and they built an entire institution as a society around crypto. Today, they control over 50% of the crypto startups in the world. Why is it possible? It's because they were so intentional about the kind of population they want. They socially engineered what it's not a tax haven by any means. They charge you 20% tax. People don't have a problem paying tax, but they have made sure that if you are setting up a crypto business, you will not be fleeced. You would have clarity on what it takes to succeed in this industry. Now, that's the future, right? The future of nations is not physical boundaries, it's policy magnets. Places which have very clear policies, clear institutions to enable contractual obligations, and frameworks for people to succeed. Those are the nations who use tax as a lever. See, Dubai is not a tax-free, classic example, right? I mean, most Indians look at Dubai as the first go-to place. If I want to save tax, okay, fly to Dubai. Now, the question is not about Dubai is by no means a tax-free market. It's a toll economy. They just shifted the control. Instead of paying a blanket tax on your success, what will you do, Ganesh, if you are successful? If you make more money?
I will go for a ride.
Yes, you will go for a ride.
Consume more food.
You will consume. They just started to tax your behavior. They started to collect toll of all your behavior systems, which you will use if you are successful. Period. You effectively end up paying more. Maybe tax is less, but not cost. Which is why even to drive on roads, you end up paying. Even in India, you have people say that even in India we have toll roads. Toll roads are when you do city to city, not within city to drop. I used to pay tolls for dropping my kids to school in Dubai.
Can you help me understand this better? Because Divakar, I'll tell you a problem. The problem is Indians are so fascinated by headlines.
Correct.
Especially about taxes.
Correct.
Because, and it makes complete sense. Even I am one of those Indians, and I'll tell you why I feel agitated by the concept of taxes. We pay 26% tax, and then we pay tax on our personal income also. But for the money that we pay to the government, we feel that the services that we're getting are absolutely trash. That is the reason why there is a fundamental disagreement between the citizens and the government.
Correct.
And that is the reason why we try to save taxes. When we look at United Arab Emirates in general, we are looking at a country that is providing world-class lifestyle without taxing its citizens. So there is this inherent notion that Dubai is much better than India. In a lot of ways, it is better. But in terms of tax, it's only after I got to Dubai that I understood that they just have a different method of revenue generation.
Exactly.
And in India, it just happens to be tax, which is very evident to the audience. Whereas in Dubai, there are small avenues where you'll have to end up paying money, which collectively, more or less, comes to the same amount of money that you would otherwise pay in India. However, another justification that especially the entrepreneurial community has is at least they've got world-class infrastructure. So there, because people feel like they're getting the value for their money, they don't mind paying taxes. Here, every time you pay tax, you feel like the government is just collecting money just because it can. You're getting my point, right?
I got it. See, Ganesh, there are two things which come to my mind, okay, to answer this. This is a common question when people come and say, I want to relocate my headquarters, I want to relocate my family. There is a framework which I use. It's called the true tax cost framework. So true tax equals tax paid plus pain endured minus odds of success minus incentives.
True tax cost is equal to tax paid plus pain endured minus odds of success minus incentives.
Period. So I'm doing my business in India and you move to Dubai and say, okay, fine, my tax rate is 9%. So I will charge off my expenses there. That's it. That's a standard classic mindset, right? Okay, I'm paying 25% and personal tax is 0 in India. If I want it in my pocket, I'll have to pay dividend tax, all those things. Let's compare the headline tax rate, 25 versus 9%. That's the first comparison you will do. Okay. The second comparison, let's go to the second component of the pain endured. Okay. Yes. What is a pain you will have to endure to live and work in Dubai? And the pain is not only from a personal perspective, it's for the family as well. Because this is a dimension. Tax is not about tax structuring is not about just paying less money. It's about altering your lifestyle for it. Let's say I have my family and friends in India and have my uh, residence in Dubai. My kids have to get used to a new school. My wife has to get to a new neighborhood. I'll have to keep traveling back and forth for family and friends here. Eventually, that pain becomes higher. So I would end up diluting my relationship. This is an emotional investment. Pain is not just physical, it's an emotional pain. So put that into context. Let's say my emotional pain in India is zero because I have my entire cohort here, whereas from there I'll have to keep traveling. So that's going to be put a 20% number to it. That varies again person to person, if I were to put a 20% number to it. Then the next question is about opportunity. Great infrastructure, where is your client? See, we complain about 25% tax because the government is not giving service. Government's job is not only to serve you, but also to give you a market, which this country has done so phenomenally well. I think that's where, if you're an entrepreneur, you need to be thankful for this country to have given you an opportunity. 140, see, let's understand, Ganesh, ruling over 140 different people, speaking in 30 states, 300 languages, 3,000 cultures is crazy. And there is a system which makes all these people follow, adapt, and still thrive. You need to give, just for that one attribute, momentous recognition for any government. So that's the price you pay for getting a market which is $5 trillion in size, growing, 140 crore, majority are young, hungry to consume. Now, that's a call for an entrepreneur based on their business. That's where your odds of success comes into picture.
This is such a beautiful way of putting it, Diwakar. I've never thought about true tax this way. Because, when I was sitting with my friends, I only thought about this math, 25% and 9%. Exactly. Okay. And then once we started to go deeper and deeper into it, because one of my friends is seriously planning to move to Dubai. Okay. And we were having this 3-hour long discussion. For me, it was very simple. I'm a patriot. So I decided to stay. But there I look like an emotional fool and not like a calculative guy who can actually put forth a logical argument. So now I could be a more logical person and put forth an argument saying that now you have to consider your true tax cost, which is a function of tax paid, pain endured, odds of success minus incentives. And you put it so beautifully when you said that the government is providing you the market.
Exactly. And we take it for granted. Huh?
Take it for granted.
See, we don't think that there's a huge cost in just retaining the market. It's like trying to maintain your weight as it is for an extended period. It's so difficult. It's so difficult given all the distractions which are happening. I mean, you see the state of democracies everywhere in the world. We just don't give credit to what a great country we are in. And there is a price you pay because your market and opportunities because of this. And tax is just a way for us to show our gratitude to this nation, just to respect their contribution in making it what it is today.
People, what Diwakar just explained forced me to revisit a decision that I've been contemplating for years. UAE is like my second home. I keep visiting UAE every 3 to 6 months. And I met a lot of agents, brokers, and wealth managers who tried to convince me to move all my assets and house to Abu Dhabi. And trust me, on paper, it was very, very lucrative. Every entrepreneur after a certain point thinks about moving because that 26% tax starts hurting. But after Diwakar's episode, I went back to my drawing board and put a cost to the emotional pain that I will endure to stay away from my friends and family. And more importantly, I looked at the opportunity cost. While most people look at 26% tax as a penalty, what we take for granted is that 26% tax is the growth fee that the government charges to give you access to 1.4 billion people. And lastly, every time I thought about moving, I realized that I would be trading my seat as a builder in a $5 trillion fast-growing economy for a seat as a driver in the UAE. Therefore, in India, my 26% tax is a growth fee for a market of 1.4 billion people. So long story short, while we all consider our bank accounts, we sometimes ignore the balance sheet of life. So please don't make that mistake. But yes, if your true tax cost is nothing, then UAE is a paradise on earth. Like I said, if I ever chose a home other than India, it would be Abu Dhabi. If this clip gave you value, please subscribe to this channel so that we can keep bringing you game-changing business insights.